Welcome in, everybody, to the Tartarus Titans team check-in. We had some fun viewer games already, some 1v1s. Who won that 1v1? I was prepping for this.
Paul.
Who truly won?
Paul.
What does that mean? Was there a real winner and then like a existential winner? You know, is there somebody win in a different way?
I don't know.
Aurora might have won because he doesn't have to do it again.
Aurora was winning the viewer games this morning. You were having a lot of fun.
Oh,
J
yeah,
Max,
so much fun.
is that your favorite type of content to come in and do? You like doing the?
I like these the best. I like the sit around talking
the
content.
round table,
Yeah.
Well, what have you guys been up to? It's been what, almost exactly 3 months since the end of the season 8 Smite World Championships. Everyone just go spend some time with family and relax, take some time away from Smite.
I went home and did nothing, and it was great.
Where's home for you?
I would do that again. Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
I went home and did nothing too.
I went home and streamed 250 hours of ranked.
Oh my god.
Do you regret that?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
I actually don't.
Not at
Don't
all.
believe him. He definitely regrets
Ranked.
that.
Not even so much the streaming. I think the 250 hours of ranked is what made me raise my eyebrows there.
Yeah,
How about you two?
Bit hard.
Relaxing,
Same thing,
downtime.
pretty much. Yeah, didn't really do anything.
Back in Canada.
Yep, back in
Lost
Canada.
Ark.
Lost
I was gonna
Ark.
say, who was telling me? Was it Kabam was letting you have like 3 top? What is it? Max tier character. I don't know how Lost Ark works.
That's me.
But,
That's Aurora.
That's Max.
you
yeah.
have max ranked
Max
characters.
is maxed out, dude.
Well, you were big on New
World.
World when it first came out,
Yep.
and that died down.
All I do is play games. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's important to not play Smite for a little while after.
I was still playing a lot of Smite too,
Yeah?
actually. I've had like, between both my accounts, I had like almost 200 ranked games.
Yeah, it's
In
crazy.
the phase before this phase.
Yeah.
My main account was like 50 or 48-7, I think. Shout out to Haddix for 2 losses out of my 7.
they were directly his fault.
No, I'm just kidding. He was in my team for 2 of the losses.
Haddix, if you're watching, it was your fault. You heard it here first. That's what Aurora's saying. Well, look, I think it's important to take some downtime, take a little breather from the game before jumping back into things. I know you've probably had a lot of time to sort of process how things ended up at the Season 8 World Championships, and for the 4 of you returning from that team, we won't harp on really what happened, but moving forward, would you say the 4 of you are...
Well, Benji's still on our team too.
Benji technically is a coach,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's true, and I'm going to ask a little bit about him in a little bit. Would you say you're using the way that the World Championships ended for you guys as any sort of motivation, a mental tool, or does it play at all into Season 9 for you guys after the way Season 8 ended?
I think it definitely stings to lose like that, considering we were like kind of, I'd say we were heavy favorites.
Sure.
I think we were dominating leading up to Worlds, but yeah, it stings and it doesn't feel good to lose like that, especially the way that we did lose, considering we put so much time in and we didn't really show up in finals.
Right.
So it just it left a bitter taste in my mouth personally, and I think it is kind of motivation moving forward.
How about the rest of you guys? Same idea?
Yeah, I'm just happy that Worlds is not in January this year. I'm crossing my fingers that it's not in January.
True.
Please don't be in January.
We heard it here
Because-
first. That's a possibility.
Please don't be in January, because
Do you
going
think,
home for the holidays and then coming back it totally ruins the flow of like everything that you've like built up through the entire year, and just like you having a stop right before the biggest event of the year sucks so much. So like for me, every year I've pushed since they've gone back to January. Especially, it was different when we weren't living here because it was in January before for the first like couple seasons.
Right.
That's completely fine because everybody's playing from home. Everybody's used to doing that, and then it's not a big deal. You come down for a weekend, maybe a whole week for the World Championship, and it's good. It's fine.
That's how the year was anyway.
Yeah,
Right?
but if you're living here and you want to go see family, or if you have other things that you want to do during the holidays, and then having to put a stop on Smite, and then having to do that, and then come back, and then compete at the highest level that you need to compete at, completely sucks. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's not in January this year. I really don't want it to be in January, and I've pushed for it every year not to be in January again, because it's rough.
I imagine it's a big mental shift, right? You take the downtime as down. I mean, especially that holiday season for a lot of people who celebrate it. You're just not in the game
You
much.
sound like you're like running for mayor or something.
I will push for this.
I don't advocate for anything barely in like balance. Like if I see something or like even in like the esports, like I'm usually pretty neutral on almost everything. I feel like, but like for this is what I want. I don't want it to that's one thing I asked.
The rent is too high guy. Did you see that like age-old clip on YouTube? The one dude who's running for office and the rent is too damn high, and that's his only that's his only platform.
Yeah. But I feel like there's so much sacrifice that like all the players make in the entire league, like to play Smite.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have to move down here. Like big shout outs to all the European players. Like moving down here is not an easy thing to do. And then like if they have holidays they want to celebrate, they have to also sacrifice. There's just give us one thing. That's the one thing I want.
Sure.
So it'd be nice. It'd be sick.
I imagine cross ocean travel for those European players is tiring, exhausting as well.
Yeah.
Difficult to do all the back and forth. Totally agree. So you heard it here first. Aror, not a fan of what, January Worlds. We are a fan of keeping it in the calendar year. So after Worlds, 4 of you guys stick together. Benji retires, moves to coach. SOT joins the team here. And Sod, I'll bring you in here in a minute. To the rest of you 4, what made SOT a good fit for the opening in that solo lane?
He quadra-killed us at Worlds. I'm just kidding.
He quadded you guys. That was his highlight reel. That was his application.
I was kind of just neutral on whichever soul laner we got. I was like, if we got Sad again, it's like still cool.
Yeah.
It's like we were cool before whatever happened on the Scarabs, and then we were cool after a month.
Right.
We kind of I went to apologize to him and stuff. I apologize to all the guys privately, not publicly, but yeah, I mean he's a sick player and glad to have him.
Sot, do you think your resume speaks for itself? Benji, one of the most storied solo laners in SMITEPro. Do you feel any pressure stepping in after Benji? I know he's still the coach of this team. He's still involved in some regard. Do you think stepping in for Benji has any extra weight in your mind, or is that not something you think about much?
I mean, a small tad. I mean, not too much though, because I think I've been doing pretty well recently.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is that I just need to be more consistent over the year instead of have super high ups and super low downs gameplay wise. I just need to be consistent because Benji was pretty consistently top. He was never really middle or bottom ever pretty much. So I'm gonna try and just stay at the top consistently.
Would the rest of you 4 say that you notice a difference in play style between SOT and Benji? Do you feel like that right side of the map feels a little different this year?
Yeah, definitely.
Paul loves it.
I mean, Benji kind of just sticks to his own lane a bit, but Sot sometimes comes over.
At 3 minutes.
Paul needs some boys, dude.
Where are my boys?
Yeah, where are my boys?
He got his boys.
Do you think, and Sot, I think the current solo lane meta, we'll get into Season 9 talk a little bit, some more eclectic picks, assassins in the solo lane, things like that. Benji, do we think, as a coach, he's in there in strategy, thinking picks and bans, things like that. Has he been surprised with the way the solo lane has started to shape up at all here early in Season 9?
Maybe at first, with the kickoff lane and all that, what people were playing. But, I mean, not too much, really.
He's mad that he doesn't get to join on the assassin train, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right.
He said,
He's mad he missed the boat,
yeah,
right?
One time, assassin
He's like, as soon as I stop playing, everybody's playing assassins now.
He
What
loves
the
that.
heck?
He loves the Cammons.
6
Those are
meta
racking.
assassins now.
Yeah.
and it's
Racking, dude.
Dang, missed out.
Well, I'm glad Benji's still involved. I guess for a lot of us, we've only ever known him as a player. How is he as a coach? Is he a good communicator, strategist?
Yeah, I think he understands the map really well, and he just understands the game really well. He's just been playing forever, so he's he's pretty analytical, and he can also give a lot of pointers to Sot because he's just been in solo forever. So if Sot does something weird or something wrong, he'll be like, you could have done this maybe, or maybe we could have done that better, at blue or something.
as well,
yeah, he's pretty knowledge.
Right.
Well, not even just for Sot though. I just feel like for all of us,
Yeah,
he's
he
good
can-
at
he can
just
say stuff for us too,
just giving his opinion on how we should have played the fight or how we should have played around a certain objective. Because he actually has the knowledge because he's been in the game and he's played and he's played at a high level and he's been successful, so he knows his stuff. So whenever he puts his opinion out there, it's definitely worth at least listening to.
Right.
So.
Well,
It's just not even just for solo, literally for everything. It's been good. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, sometimes for players, it can be a difficult transition from playing to coaching and those sorts of things. But it seems like that's been successful for you guys and Benji as well. I want to look at the rest of the league because you guys are one of the I guess half the teams. If you count the Valkyries as a team that's stuck together in the SEC, there have been like 4 roster changes total, and all of them were a single player on these teams.
I'm surprised, honestly.
Yeah, does that surprise you?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's been so limited?
I feel like because everybody was like, I think a lot of the players, which I could be wrong, this is just how I look at it from the outside, they didn't want to play in the qualifier tournament, and they felt like if they made additional changes or more changes, they would maybe have the possibility of playing in it. But I honestly think like a lot of them overthought that a little bit, because I think if they stuck with because I think some people would have at least had like a core of their same team.
Right.
They would have been fine. But I think some of the teams like for instance like the Bolts, they seem like they get along really well with each other. So they're like, might as well run it back. So.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think it's the same thing with like a lot of teams like Scarabs,
Yeah.
Kings. They're like,
Well, Scarabs did make a change.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's only one change. It's not like 2 or 3.
Right.
It still changed though.
Yeah, and that's true. But I think like just
Like,
most teams sticking together.
yeah.
Like Levi's as well. They won Worlds obviously, and like Kings, they're like good pals. I think it's a lot has to do with like teams did pretty well last year and they got along. I think for the most part.
Yeah.
So.
I think the teams that didn't make changes too, like the Warriors, say we didn't really get a good look at them because they didn't really have a fair chance, I'd say, because of the ping and stuff. I think the Bolts actually had a decent year last year. They had a decent year last year.
They
I'd
were
say
on
the
what,
Bolts.
like a 9-set win
They
streak or
got
something
really
like
hot
that?
during the year,
Right.
yeah, but they didn't. I mean, only one team can win tournaments.
Right.
Or only one team. There's 4 tournaments and only one team can win each one.
I think
so.
it's cool though. Like like I said, I'm surprised, but like maybe this has just become the new norm, and more teams you'll see less roster changes going forward, maybe compared to other years, which is not always like a bad thing. It's it's definitely a good
I
thing.
don't know,
as
if I was
well.
a viewer, dude, I'd want some like crazy,
Crazy
stuff.
stuff?
You want the drama, right?
Yeah.
Like,
They're
Well,
used
as a
to it.
viewer,
They're
yes.
used to it.
If you're a viewer, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder though, do you think that a lack of changes results in a more competitive league if you get kind of an extra year essentially for all of these rosters to play together, one swap here and there? Do you think that ends up with more competitive Smite?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can't get any worse, right? Because last year was pretty competitive, and I think it can only get better, right? It can't really get worse.
I think this year is already like looking a lot better.
Yeah.
Considering that the Oni homies beat the.
We
Leviathans.
already know
right.
this entire
Yeah.
year off 1 week.
That's right.
I have no idea, to be honest. Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, one team could just look better than all the other teams by the end of the year. One team could look terrible. One team could have issues. Like last year, the Valks had issues that were out of their control. So that's why they didn't look as strong as they could have been if they were all here. But, like, who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
I have no idea.
Exciting though. Do you have thoughts, Paul?
It's starting to look super. Well, before in the other seasons, there's always been like one team that's been like getting absolutely owned, like they go like 0-20
Right.
or whatever during the
Okay.
split. But well, we're like 7th or 6th, so just about. But I don't know. I think it's starting to look a bit more competitive. Like I don't know. Every team seems like they're decent.
Yeah. Do we feel like any team, maybe similar to that question, but with such limited changes, do you guys feel like any team feels drastically different, only changing one player here or there? Does any team stand out as this guy's the one change, but it feels very different from how their team either operated last year or will look moving into this year?
I'd probably say maybe I mean, I don't think there'd be that much different, but I'd say if they were different, probably Dragons. Because
Wait, how do you know how they're... we haven't even played against them at all besides the one set.
well, I mean, this is what I think.
Because
This is what I think. I don't know.
they've canceled scrims on us like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I
They're,
mean,
they're dodging you guys.
They hate us, dude.
Yeah, I mean-
I'm roasting them live on Smite Game right now because they've ruined our scrims for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Were
last
they
week
early
the-
scrims? Like, can you go back to bed at least after
No,
after the
I don't think
cancellation?
they were that
Yeah.
early.
But no, it sucks. All right, sorry, I
yeah,
interrupted you.
no, you're good. You're good.
He was actually answering the question. You're BMing the Dragons. What?
No, but I think like when you look at like the different play styles of
Yeah,
Pagon
playstyle-wise,
and
right.
Hurriwins and like the different god pools, I think Pagon's like a vastly different player than Hurriwins, and so I think they'll probably change their like a little bit at least
Right.
their style around Pagon.
It's an interesting year with limited changes. I'm very excited. We've already seen very competitive Smite. A lot of 3-game sets already. I feel like last year in Season 8, we waited like 4 weeks to get our first 3-game set. Very back and forth already here in Season 9. Talk to me with the Valkyries, though, because this is a team a lot of you guys probably limited scrim experience against because they were a roster together all throughout last year in Season 8 in the SEC. Make their debut in Season 9 of the SPL here. I think they've put on some good games from what we've seen from them so far. What do you think expectations are for the SPL newcomers? Some players have obviously played in the SPL before, but the entirely new roster here in Season 9, what do we think the Valks are going to look like maybe closer to the end of the year?
I think it's going to be rough at first, like you were saying. I think they're not like completely new because they have WoW and Aqua, but like their core is completely new, and the core is very valuable on the map, I'd say, for like almost every other SPL team. So there's going to be a lot of, I'd say, struggles early on, and then like throughout the year, they might see like a Scarabs type beat, where they like start off really weak, and then like towards like the end of the year, they kind of like hype up and they look really good. So I mean, as long as they sit together and they keep their mentals calm and everyone's on the same page, they can do well.
I guess I like that answer, and I agree with that answer. Yeah. I assume, and this is no disrespect to any of the teams that have struggled in the past, do we think that this team can kind of break free from the 0-20, 0 whatever teams that we've had in the past?
I really don't think they're going to go like 0-20.
Right.
I mean, look at their game against the Scarabs.
They had the cleanest game.
They literally had the cleanest SPL
entire
game
weekend.
of the first week that game won. So
I think it would be more realistic for them to be like just under 500.
Right.
Like they'll be like maybe like 9-11 or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I really don't think
They'll
they're gonna
find their
lose
wins.
I don't think they're going to lose every single game.
There's no way they'll be like
Not like the Vlad.
every last place team.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
There's no way they're going to be like last year.
We play them this week, don't we?
Yeah.
Dude, no, they're noobs, man. We're gonna own them, boy.
I got to check. I think you guys do play them at some point. Yes, you play them
Sunday.
on Sunday. You get the middle time slot.
We
So
also got Leviathan.
you also have Leviathans. You got Leviathans into Valkyries this week. Should be a fun week. Yeah, I can't wait to see how the Valkyries grow this year. I think it's going to be a really fun year in the SPL in Season 9. I want to talk a little bit about meta before we go into viewer Q&A. Feels like Season 7 to Season 8, there were pretty drastic like map changes, things like that. I'll probably ask each of you what you think your role is like here in Season 9, and if what we saw from your role in Season 8 feels very different from the early part of Season 9 here. I know there's a lot of similarities. So maybe Aror, we'll start with you. Where do you think support's at the moment, similar to Season 8?
Sport's just overpowered.
Yeah?
Yeah. At the end of the day, like everybody always says, like if you play support and ranked, it's free wins. It's just like the best role in the game easily.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, like if you put like 5 supports on one team against Soloortroll, he automatically loses in ranked.
That is true. Yep.
Well, I mean, if he's on his own, of course, because it's 5 versus 1.
Yeah.
Or you mean 5 against 5,
Yeah.
but he's on the other team.
He's on the other
Both,
team.
honestly.
Is that something that's happened?
You thought, he thought the supports were going to go down one game.
time
and
he
he got owned by
He
the
had
supports.
5 supports on his ranked team in like 2019, and I'm like, oh, this is the freest game of all time.
Oh, this is a throwback.
Yeah, it's a
And he's just
throwback.
never let you forget it.
Throwback,
And so every single time I have supports on my team, I'm like, okay, it's a free win. Because I have supports. Yep.
We saw some weird support picks this past
Yeah.
weekend, Aror. Do you think that team's having fun, or do you think support's kind of open to interpretation right now?
I don't know.
That's the secret strats, dude.
Yeah, I guess a lot of that's strategy, potentially.
They must have played it in scrims and it must have done well, like the Afro pick against us.
That just seems annoying, to be honest.
Afro's fun. I
don't wanna
love
land against
I
that.
love playing Afro. Like the
I like
most,
playing against that.
Yeah?
That was
Dude.
fun for me.
the classic dual lane. One of my favorites is Afro Hell. That's like one of the best dual lanes.
Oh, don't put that in the
It's
universe. I hate
It's
that.
been in the universe. I put it in the universe.
I know,
a
but
long time ago.
don't bring it back up.
bring it
That
back.
sounds horrible to me to go up against. Although I guess Cyclone, you said you had some fun against it. So the strongest role in the game right now is what Aror thinks support
Yep.
is, right? We'll quote him as that. SOT, how about solo lane? Where do you think solo ranks in the meta right now?
I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things that are pretty good, like different styles. You can play like Cthulhu, like Nike type. I think is pretty good. You can play like auto attackers with like blown and Amma, stuff like that. Like a Death's Embrace. You can play like ability healers like Wukong, Cleanup, Soloortroll.
Play Nemean.
Yeah, you can play Nemean and like Shiva or something. Or, like her can just dive, or like a Cyrus or something. I'm not really sure. I don't think Solo Lane is that good. Like at least in ranked, I think it's like one of the worst roles. Honestly, like you just get ganked over and over. Like Laconium just dodgy 3 me, Jengaru Nemulting me, Oath camping me, like the Oath Haddix dual lane.
The famous
so
Jengaru
cringe.
Discordia
Yeah.
jungle.
Maybe solo lane if you're playing cleanup versus any other solo lane at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, in ranked it's awful. It's like the worst role in ranked, in my opinion.
If you're going against 5 supports.
Yeah,
right.
but in competitive, there's a lot of room for a lot of things and a lot of different play styles, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, some flexibility right now. Paul, we've seen a lot of mid lane metas over the years. What is season 9? At least early on, there's a lot of figuring
Mages
out
are
to do.
They
overpowered.
are overpowered.
So OP.
I don't know. I
Nikki.
think mid is pretty good. I mean,
Pretty
Yeah, pretty good.
overpowered.
If you
Pretty good.
play ranked,
Not as good as support though.
if you have a dual queue, like you're chilling, bro. But
A support mid queue.
Yeah.
mid thing though is it's always been weird. Like there's like these top picks, and then
Yeah.
like 90% of the mid lane god pool is just they're just like bad. Like because mid lane, it's
Right.
not like bad picks, good picks, like really good. It just goes, yep, these are all bad, and then these are like 3 really good characters, and you have to just play these 3 characters in mid.
And the odds of you getting any of those 3 are pretty limited. I think it was 7 bans against you, or I don't know. It feels like you're eating them constantly.
Something like that, yeah.
Classic.
They're focusing you in game and in picks and bans, Paul. You
Sometimes, yeah.
can't get away from it.
Sad.
All right, so no excuse. I mean, the rest of your team thinks mid is OP right now, so no excuses from
I don't
Paul.
think it is.
No, we
It's a
know
fact.
it is.
Yeah, it's a
Guys,
fact.
Yeah, we just know.
these guys.
Not as good as support though.
Such
Not as good as
Not as good as
yeah.
support. Yeah.
Roar putting himself in his role on a pedestal, so no excuses for you either now.
Support's overpowered.
Layers, how's the jungle right now?
A lot of people that play jungle think it's really bad.
They
right
always
now.
think it's
Jungle's
really
Everyone-
terrible.
everyone thinks it's
They need
bad
to-
always.
Okay,
They're all
listen to me.
delusional.
Jungle is literally the worst role in the game. I'm not joking. Why are you laughing, bro?
Jungle, dude.
Dude, literally, look it. They need to buff all the items on the mace tree one more time, and
Yeah,
then they
2 more times.
and then they need to increase movement speed on straighted edge as well.
Yeah, and then they need buff speed buff
And
too.
then-
Yeah.
Speed buff.
Yeah,
they buff speed buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the worst.
Speed
Speed
buff's
buff
the
is
worst jungle buff
Used to
on
be
the
easier to
map.
kill, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And give you more speed.
Jokes aside, I think jungle is in a really good spot.
Yeah.
I think it's still pretty strong. I don't know.
Do you think-
Junglers are always looking for like more room to get like.
You can't kill
buffs, but
mages though, so how are they good right
Bro.
now?
Do you think seeing assassins in solo is just a result of the jungle either itemization tree or the jungle characters being that good, or is there something about assassins in solo specifically that just make them better? You know, I guess kind of a weird question.
Yeah, no, I can answer that. I just think partly it's because like the Soloortroll buff and like catch is a really good item, and shift is a really good item since it changes like a while ago. And also like a lot of the recent assassins that were made, like Tsukiyomi is a very good solo laner, Clean is a very good solo laner. They have like very good solo lane abilities.
Right.
So I think that's mainly like the itemization and the recent characters like made. Just fit
And
solo
Clean
lane.
has sustain too, so that like makes
Yeah.
her. I feel like the bruiser items like match really well. Like Cat is like really good,
Yeah.
but then like it pairs well with Kleena too.
Yeah, like Bastet as
So it's
well.
just like so like a
very-
bunch of like
very lane.
gods are like they
Yeah.
have like the lifesteal, but they're like able to go solo, and all the bruiser items are good. So it just kind of complements that style.
Is there ever any arguments between you two on who gets to play the assassins?
Whatever he wants to play, he can play.
I know.
And I always say like, I'll fill in, I'll play whatever, I don't care.
Fair enough. It's a good way to be. Cyclonespin, round us out here. ADC in season 9. What are your expectations?
Literally the exact same as season 8.
You gonna chill and farm for a little while and
Farm, hit.
Isn't crit worse?
Yeah, it is. If people actually build spectral armor. Well, the role is exactly the same. You hit objectives or towers
that's a
Neiman
fair
Lion,
point.
baby.
in an attempt to kill a tank, which you sometimes can do, but
That's why
sometimes
support's OP.
but sometimes you
Cyclonespin,
can't.
and you hit tanks better than a lot of the ADCs in this league. So
No, I don't.
Can we do a tier list right now
of what?
of roles?
Yeah, please.
All right, so
1 to 5.
support's at the top,
The mid lane.
then mid lane,
Support
then
mid,
jungle.
no, then soul lane,
No
No,
way.
then
no,
hunter,
no
then
way.
jungle at number 5. Because jungle needs buffs. Like
Oh.
if they don't get item buffs, they actually can't function.
Here's the problem, Aurora.
Wait,
is that, you know, people are going to assume you're being sarcastic about this.
I'm not being
And
sarcastic.
so you're totally being sarcastic about the Worlds in January. You want it in January.
No. But seriously, I do want jungle buffs because junglers aren't happy right now. Like, if you go watch them on their stream when they play ranked and they can't kill a mage in mid lane,
In one ability.
you know that they need to buff all the mages.
That's true. If you can't one-tap mages.
Mages
They
need
can one-tap
nerfs.
hunters, but they can't one-tap mages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Play
that,
Morgan
therefore,
jungle.
Like,
jungle
if
is bad.
you have breastplate on a mid laner and you do damage to the jungler, like, they're not going to be happy.
Yep. Yep.
Like, every jungler that plays against a
Sorry.
breastplate, they need, like, a percentage item that shreds the breastplate completely. So if mid laners go that item, they just get countered by that jungle
I love
pick.
me some breastplate.
Coward's plate.
You do like
What the?
you like your
what they call
pen
it.
or flat pen into something defensive, Paul. Is normally how you have to build nowadays, right? I mean,
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I used to buy a bunch of breastplate in the past, but actually not so much lately. It depends on the
Copium.
character.
Because mid's so OP, you don't die anyway. Unless it's,
Something like that.
I
unless
think
it's
Aurora's the
support.
only person I've ever seen
Parrots.
admit that their role was like great. I think everyone
Or it's
else.
broken,
I said,
dude.
I said the jungle was
I
good.
no, you're right. You did say
I've
jungle was
seen
good.
a lot of people complaining about support on Twitter too.
Dude, it's broken. Trust me right now. Let's get back to jungle. Jungle sucks.
Like, so bad.
Jungle's
All the
actually
junglers
terrible.
out there are like, yeah, keep going.
No,
keep
like,
giving me more
have you
airtime.
ever, okay, shout outs to Oath. Have you ever seen his stream? If you go on there for 5 minutes, he'll let you know how bad jungle is instantly.
Is that a result of how his games are going, or does he genuinely feel like
He
jungle's
just
the best?
genuinely thinks jungle sucks.
I think he favors mid more
Also,
now,
like-
actually. He's more of a
Yeah,
mid
he's
laner.
looking queen mid because
Yeah.
jungle's so bad, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
In this fantasy land, I guess.
So what was your official tier list?
Yeah, so
Before we move on?
support, mid, solo, hunter, jungle.
Where's the laughter come from? Jungle being that
Jungle
low?
being last. Jungle's third.
Jungle's third?
And then the
Yeah.
side lanes are under. Carry,
We
carry
can all
solos.
agree with maybe Aurora has his, and then we bump jungle up, and we all agree with
Yes.
that? Okay.
Any core role is better than side lanes in ranked.
Yeah, in ranked. Okay.
Oh, and ranked hunter's OP.
That's true.
It is the freest win of all time.
Yeah.
Dude, listen to me. Like I said, if you're a jungler and ranked and each one of your lanes loses, you can't play. So
Mayor.
one of the lanes has to win for the jungler to participate. So that automatically moves them down to 5.
Yeah, but if I'm a laner, I'm saying that I lost because my jungler wasn't there, right? I mean, that's how that works.
That's what I do, yeah.
Well, that is true, but
That's
like
a personal problem.
that is true, but at the end of the day, like that's just not how it works. Like
That's true, but it's not true.
I know all the junglers in the world appreciate you going to bat for them. All right, I'm going to rattle through a few fan Q&As here before we round out our segment here. You guys loved the Cthulhu comps last year with Morgan. Do you guys have a preference on name between Cthulhu and Cthulhu? This is what somebody on Twitter asked. Cthulhu versus Cthulhu. Do you have a preference on?
I like them
on name?
both.
I think it's Cthulhu.
Yeah, I think Cthulhu is probably winning.
Cthulhu kind of
Cthulhu
Cthulhu sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
It rolls
I
off the
agree.
tongue easier.
Both of them are cool though. I like both.
Yeah, both of them are cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
My vote was always Cthulhu, so I appreciate that.
Cthulhu.
Aurora, I don't know if you saw when we
That's good.
asked on Twitter for fans to ask us questions. They used a clip of you doing some.
This?
Yeah, that. And
my.
somebody just asked, how do you do that?
I don't know.
How does he do it?
Because the head is moving one direction, the eyebrows, and it's in the opposite. It's genuinely impressive. Is that
guys
just
can't do
something
that.
you just decided you could do one day?
Yeah, like
decided,
back
found out
in
you could do
grade
one day?
school, I just started doing it. And they're like, everybody was like, "How are you doing that?" I mean, I don't know. I'm just doing it.
I can shake my eyes really fast, and that's about all
Wait,
I
can-
do.
What do you
Can
mean?
you do it?
Can you do it?
I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Oh my god, that's
Bro, that's
crazy!
just
I can just vibrate them super fast.
That
How
just
do you
hurt
do
my-
that?
That hurt my eyes.
I don't know. I think same as your head
Same as
thing. All I
that?
can, I just
Yeah.
figured out one day that I can like vibrate them.
That's cool.
What the heck? That made me-
That's actually,
that made me-
that's
that made me
actually
cringe,
sick.
That just hurt my eyes looking at that.
Yeah,
Holy
that
shit.
actually
I
hurt my
mean,
eyes.
what? That'd be good for. What are some like super fast screen games like Osu maybe, like those styles of games?
Does it
You
like?
can just use it to
What's your
freak people
vision
out.
like when you're doing that?
Oh, it's just blurry.
Oh, it's blurry.
All it is streaks back and
What
forth.
the heck?
Yeah, I can't really see anything. Not good. It's like I'm just wildly dizzy. All right, so Aurora doesn't know how he
Yeah,
does
I
it.
don't
He
know.
just does it. Who is most responsible / irresponsible on making it to scrim blocks?
I'd say Aurora's
I'd
probably most responsible.
Say
Yeah, probably
Max
Max is
the most responsible, and then
Yeah.
Paul is the least responsible.
What?
Yeah, probably Paul. I'd say my vote's probably Paul. Paul or Lairs.
Paul wakes up like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably Lairs.
I'm down with that. Can we just go for
Yeah,
that?
we can do Lairs.
What are what is 11 a.m. what I've gathered are the earliest ones?
Okay.
you
Yeah,
did,
it's
or-
11 a.m. to earliest.
I don't have
and-
enough information on this guy yet, but last year I'd say it was a tie between everybody else on the team.
Yeah,
for
I
that.
swear. Why are you blaming me? I swear it's a tie. It's a tie.
I swear, I agree. It was literally a tie last year.
Fair enough. You're a diplomat, Aror.
You literally could throw it up in the air, and it would come down differently every time.
I swear it's
Dude,
actually
Paul
true
wakes up
though.
a minute before scrim starts. Like,
Hey, sometimes you
Some-
don't need
yeah.
warm-up time, you
and
know?
then he's,
Yeah,
and then he's zombie the
exactly.
whole
In the
day.
past, I was bad, but I'm good now.
Right.
So
We've improved.
if it's 11 a.m.
So
though,
far, so good.
11 a.m. It's a bit
That
hard,
is tough.
but yeah.
11 a.m.
but-
is tough. Especially now on Sundays, we've got 11 a.m. SPL games. You guys dodged that one this week, but
I don't think we have one until literally like the last week. We
really?
play game on match one.
Prayers up.
would you rather get it out of the way right away or have it?
I think our
saved
match
to-
one's on Friday, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather get out of
so
the way.
that's a
honestly.
1 o'clock game right there.
Yeah, that's true.
I like having match one better because then you don't have to like. It's funny because if you ever out there with the players before the other game, you know everybody's cheering. You know exactly who everybody's cheering for. If the team's ahead and they're gonna end,
They want them to
they're like, come on. It doesn't matter like what the implications are. They just want the team that's gonna win
Yeah.
to win so they can play.
Do
Basically,
you guys say Team A wins game 1 and then Team B wins game 2? Are you actively mad at Team B if they then don't end up winning game 3 and Team A wins anyway?
Depends if we're at the
If we're there,
studio.
if we're already there, then
If we're at the
maybe.
studio, then yes.
I think it depends on how game
But if
2
we're not
goes,
at the
you're
studio,
right.
then
Sure.
it
Like,
doesn't
Team
matter.
A, like,
If team A
snowballs.
through game 2,
Yeah. Team A throws like a 20K goal lead or something.
They're getting
Team
flamed
B,
on Twitter.
Then we're like flaming them. Like,
Yeah.
Be like, how do you lose that?
Yeah, that is a thing. You get a really long like broadcast day going. Our 3-set SPL days. They're all 3-game sets, and the final set happens, and it's like Team 1 wins, Team 2 wins, and then Team 1 ends up winning, and we're like, should have just won, but that's all besides the point. If each member were to off-roll for 1 game, what would everyone's role be?
Mine would be probably mid. I actually almost played mid for the season. I was gonna play in the play-ins with Oath.
Yep.
Then I got saved. I got saved.
Gracious. So mid for
I'll
San.
jungle. I'm down for that. Let's do
Jungle.
Well, you got to fill in the rest of the. As a team, everyone's got to off-roll.
Oh, everybody's has to off roll.
Like if you guys played an SPL game, everyone off-roll. Where would everyone? be?
Zolian's pretty good.
I would probably be solo, or maybe Cyclone would be solo.
I could play carry, I guess.
I'm kind of nuts at carries though. I don't miss
You're
autos.
he's better than me at carry for sure. So I'd probably just get
I don't
put
miss any
solo.
autos. Dude. I'm just an auto gamer.
Could be. Would you argue a similar play style at all between support characters and solo lane characters? Would you say there's some carryover?
Team fights, yes.
Team fight wise?
but not the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like team fights, sure. And like when I mean team fights, like late game team fights when
Would Cyclone
support's
solo
actually
lane cheat?
level.
Because he was a solo laner before.
No, no cheating.
That's
Right
not
now
cheating.
he's an
Okay,
ADC.
okay, okay.
So you put him solo,
Yeah.
That's
would-
support.
Oh, he would support. Okay, there you go.
and support's just so OP.
It is OP. They can play Sobek, Paul's favorite character.
You said jungle, Paul.
Yeah, I'm
And it
jungle.
was what for you?
I just fill in wherever.
Fill
wherever,
in
like,
mid.
yeah.
You were solo support
Because
because
I'm
you're
kind
ADC.
of doggy dog at off rolls, so I'm the jungler.
And anything else? Who has the worst ideas during picks and bans?
Nobody.
Nobody has really bad
I don't
ideas.
think
at
anyone
all.
has like a bad idea.
I mean, it would be me soon. I haven't brought mine out yet, but
he hasn't brought it out of the
Brought mine
club.
yet, yeah.
Maybe I'll rephrase. Does anyone just throw like a totally
Bizarre.
like bizarre? I mean, maybe like worst idea is a bit harsh, but is there any player on the team who is more prone to just throwing out very random picks
Feel
more than
like
anyone
in
else?
the past years it'd probably be me to try weird stuff, but like last year not really.
Last year it was Oceans.
I
Yeah,
picked-
I guess, yeah.
was
Last year it was definitely 100% our
I think I
coach,
picked like a
Oceans.
god before our set that I never
Like
practiced
this
with.
year, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's really
I
thrown
think-
out any weird
well,
picks.
I'm not saying, but I think for you, because I'm not going to say the pick, but we were in SPL, and he's just like, yo, maybe pick me this
Oh,
god.
yeah, I know what you're talking
and I'm
about.
just like, we never practiced it with it once. Literally
That's
once.
fair.
We've
What in the
never
world
seen
is
it
happening?
once. And he's just like, yo, Yeah, maybe this year.
Yo,
Yeah, he's talking about Kumba.
I got his back. I believe though. I got his back. I believed in it.
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, Paul didn't like that one.
He was
It's gonna
jumping
be great.
in the
I feel like I'm in
Discord.
on it now. Like something absurd is gonna get picked solo, and I'm gonna know that this was the moment where like
It's really not an absurd
It's
pick. I
not
played a lot
absurd.
before, so
It's
it's like it's just.
That's a
He's
classic.
on the meta. He's on the
Yeah,
meta.
that's
It's like a heat check.
Oh,
pick.
it's a
like
tier.
his heat
It was
check.
tier.
It's
It was
Yeah.
Kumba
It was definitely Kumba.
It's his heat check
Kumba.
pick. He's always
Got it.
been a good tier player.
all right.
and a good Kumba player.
It is
There you go,
Kumba.
yeah.
God, you guys are so good at throwing up smoke screens. No, I'm not. I have no idea who it is. And I guess that's the point. All right, final question here before we move you guys on with your day. Mandatory 1v1 to win $1 million. You get to pick a god and also ban a god. What are you picking for a 1v1 to win $1 million?
I would pick-
Paul's banning Geb and picking Sobek.
Top pick, actually.
1v1. Who's OP right now in 1v1?
I would pick Hoi.
Wow.
Who you
Just
banning?
because if I'm bad, like if I get like a lucky ricochet, then like I'm in there. You know what I mean?
Right. And if you lose,
Like the
you know,
jackpot.
it's
Yeah,
I'm bad,
yeah.
right?
And then he's OP in Joust too. He's
Right.
OP in dual
Who
map.
do you ban out against Toyi?
AMC.
AMC?
Yeah, maybe.
Stinger OP.
I'd probably ban Bologna.
Actually, no, Izanami.
Uh,
I'd ban Izanami.
Just pick Gilgamesh.
I'd ban Bologna. Pick on her probably.
Yeah.
I would ban Bologna as well and pick Oleron.
What is it about Bologna?
She's OP.
I'd
She's
pick
annoying
Malcolm.
in
So, like,
1v1.
she wins early game because she has bludgeon and
got
she's
a
a
lot of
warrior, and then late game she gets Death's Embrace. Or
Okay,
if she can't buy that anymore.
can't
I'll
buy that
ban
anymore.
any character
Yeah,
and pick
right.
Bologna then.
She just gets mannequin and KQ.
Yeah, picking Bologna first before the other person can ban her, and then
Yeah, I'll
just
pick
banning
Bologna
anyone
and then
else.
ban something
I'd pick
random.
Hebo, and I'd probably ban like Uller or something like that.
Or Dusa maybe.
Yeah, Paul, have you liked
so.
Tebow coming back? I know this is not the last question I said I was going to ask, but
Okay.
have you liked Tebow coming back into the meta a little bit?
Yeah, I think I like it, but I think he's still a little hard to play in mid. But
Yeah. Tebow's a lot of fun to watch. All right, did everyone answer their 1v1s? I think you guys did. Excited for what you guys can do in Season 9. I think high expectations for this team. It's going to be a great year for you
You
guys.
heard it here first, Buff Jungle.
Buff Jungle, Worlds in
Jungle,
December,
Jungle.
things like that. All from Aror to you.
Buff Jungle is more important though.
Right,
Yeah,
Buff
yeah,
Jungle is
Buff
the most
Jungle's
important.
definitely the most important.
Thanks everyone for watching the Tartarus Titans team check-in. If you're at home, stick around. More 1v1s coming up next.
Hey, wait, what did it win?
You win the respect.
Telling me an alien wore this?
Perfect. Okay, that was a good cut.
Messaging him to mute.
The best graphics you really need, Ultra, of course, and I can probably watch a stream on the side.
Content's gonna look good.
Pretty good, pretty good.